Hey there, and welcome to the Rebel CEO podcast. Here, we're all about embracing your inner CEO, helping you grow into the highest version of yourself, and build a business that serves your life. That's right, we're leaving the hustle culture behind. I'm your host, Brianna Kay. I'm an elopement photographer, videographer, and former burnt out entrepreneur who is on a mission to gain more freedom and live life to the fullest. Think of me as a friend who you're sitting down for a coffee chat to catch up with. So get cozy and get ready to dive in, dream big, and realize you really can have it all. Hey Rebel CEOs, welcome back. It is me, your host, and your friend Brianna, and I am ready to dive into episode 2 for December's topic of decluttering in time for the new year. It's not just your home or your email inbox that the end of the year is going to be a good time to start decluttering, but it's also a great time to clean up your brand and your social media presence. So in today's episode, we're going to talk about how to clean up your online space so that you can head into the new year feeling refreshed, clear, and ready to grow. Now, I know the word decluttering can sometimes feel a little bit overwhelming, but do not worry. I'm here to make it easy. So we are going to break it down and keep it simple. So by the time you're done listening, you'll have a plan for clearing out the old and making space for the new. And we're even going to tie in some branding talk, and I love branding. So grab a cup of coffee if it is the morning or if you just need the caffeine, and let's dive in. Okay, so first, let's go over why decluttering your brand and your socials even matters. So think about it this way: when your online presence is cluttered or is inconsistent, it can confuse people. So it could confuse your followers, your potential clients, or whoever ends up on your page. And if your brand feels all over the place, people do not know who you are or what you stand for or what you offer. And here's the thing: a streamlined, focused brand is not only going to help people understand you better, but it also sets the tone for the new year. It's the difference between going into a well-curated fashion boutique store or going into a thrift shop where there's a little bit of everything mixed in there and you're not really sure where to find what it is that you're exactly looking for. So having everything curated, it just makes it really easy for people to step inside and know what they're going to get from you. Not only is it going to help your customers or potential clients, but it's also just going to feel really good for you to clean up your online space. And I know a lot of you out there neglect your website. This includes your website. So don't be one of those people who's like, oh, just look at my Instagram because I haven't updated my site in forever. It is time to update your website. So cleaning everything out is going to give you a sense of clarity and make you feel more in control of the presence that you are putting out into the world. Plus, when someone lands on your profile, you want them to get you instantly. So a clean, cohesive look and a message builds trust and credibility. So how do we actually declutter and where do we start? The first thing I'm going to suggest is doing a little audit of your current social media accounts and brand materials. So look at your profiles, decide if they're up to date. Does your bio still clearly explain who you are and what you do? And if you're using profile or cover photos, do they still reflect your vibe and style? And if you're answering no, then it might be time for a refresh. Next, think about your content. Are you still posting things that align with your current message and goals? Sometimes we get so caught up in the pressure to post everything, or you feel like you need to post someday and it's not really in line with your brand, so you just bust something out. But if it no longer serves your brand or your vision, then it might be time to let it go. Also, take a moment to clean up your digital space. So your emails, I'm speaking to myself here, your files, your apps, everything that's just sitting there on your computer taking up space, because you know eventually you're going to get that dreaded "your computer is almost out of space" message, and it's going to come at a really inconvenient time. So take care of it if you are in your slow season before it comes around when you're scrambling for time. You can unsubscribe from emails that clutter your inbox, organize your files, and even clean up your phone. So trust me, this will make a huge difference in how you feel as you move into the new year, and it's also going to energetically clear out some of that clutter to hopefully bring in some new manifestations for you. All right, the next step after you've cleared out the clutter is to talk about simplifying your strategy. So do you have a content calendar or are you just winging it? Honestly, a lot of us can get stuck in the hustle of I need to post every day like I mentioned earlier, or I need to do all of the things, but you don't actually need to post every single day to make an impact. What you really need is consistency and quality. One way to simplify your posting and declutter kind of like your mind around your posting schedule on social media is going to be by batch creating content. You can take a couple of hours to create a bunch of posts or graphics at once and then schedule them out using tools like Later, Buffer, or Planoly. That way, you're not scrambling every day to come up with something new to share. And you can get into the zone and then bust out all of your best content while you're in the zone versus pulling out something that is being done out of obligation. And let's talk about decision fatigue for a second. So sometimes the constant, what should I post today, can be exhausting. So if you're streamlining your content plan, you're giving yourself more mental space and energy for the things that really matter. So really, it is all about less hustle and more strategy. So you can use content pillars, which a lot of you are probably familiar with already. So choose 3 to 5 content pillars and you can rotate your posts so that each one falls in the bucket of one of the pillars. That way you have a cohesive brand and cohesive messaging, and you can just circle back to your content pillars and think of what you want to share that relates to that on that day. Next, let's talk about your visuals, which is your brand aesthetic. If you look at your Instagram website and social media profiles, do they all reflect a cohesive look? Be honest with yourself. If not, it's time to refine and simplify. You don't need to go overboard with complicated designs, and a lot of the time, less is actually more. Are your colors, fonts, and images all consistent? And if not, maybe now is the perfect time to update them. A simple and clean aesthetic can make a big difference for how your brand is perceived, and it doesn't need to be perfect, but it should be consistent and aligned with the vibe that you want to convey, especially if your aligned client or ideal client is really detail-oriented or loves aesthetics themselves. Then they're not going to be attracted to you if your brand is all over the place or doesn't fit their vibe. And if you're feeling a little bit out of your depth with design, you can use tools that are really easy and free like Canva, and that can help you to create beautiful designs. You can use templates and align those designs with your brand. Consistency across your visuals is going to make your brand instantly recognizable, and it'll help people trust you more when they see your posts pop up in their feed. Now, here is the tricky part. It is letting go. This can feel tough, especially if you've poured time and energy into creating content or building a certain part of your brand. But trust me, letting go of what no longer serves you is actually going to be really freeing. So let go of the old posts that don't align with where you're going. If you're shifting your message or niche, it's okay to delete content that doesn't fit anymore. You're not erasing your past, you're just making space for new opportunities. So the example I want to give is when I stepped back from shooting larger weddings previously, I took off every photo from my site that felt like a larger wedding. So I took off churches, I took off wedding party, and that was with the hope that my clients who were eloping, who were my aligned clients, they would not see those photos and feel like I wasn't the photographer for them, because they just don't connect with that, since that is not the type of wedding they're having. And it's worth noting that it's not just about content either. So maybe it's time to step back from a platform that's draining your energy. That is TikTok for me. I keep getting on dark, scary TikTok and conspiracy theory TikTok. So I just have to delete the app fairly regularly because I just don't love that. So you can decide to focus on just the platforms that are really moving the needle for you instead of spreading yourself too thin and focusing on everything. And remember that it is okay to simplify, to be selective with your time and energy, and also to let go of what's not serving you anymore. So to wrap it up, decluttering your brand and your socials is not going to be about perfection. It's about clarity and intention. So start with a simple audit of all of your profiles and content, streamline your strategy, tidy up your visuals, and most importantly, let go of what is not aligned with your current goals. This isn't a huge overhaul that you need to tackle at once, so start small and focus on one thing at a time. Even small changes will give you a sense of relief and make space for new ideas and growth in the year ahead. And I have a Clean Up Your Online Presence brand audit that you can steal from me. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to link it in the show notes, and then you can use that to help guide you to make sure that all of your socials and all of your spaces online fit the brand that you are trying to put into the world. I hope that this episode helps you to take the step to declutter your online space and start the new year with more intention and less overwhelm and a more consistent and more
magnetic brand presence. And if you're feeling inspired to clean up your socials, I would love to hear how it's going. So come say hi on Instagram at rebel.ceo.podcast or at Brianna K Photography and let me know what you are focusing on as you prep for 2025. And I want to thank you so much for listening today, as always. And please do me a favor and share this episode with a friend if you think there's somebody that it would benefit, or tag me in your stories and let me know that you're listening.
Until next week, stay rebellious, don't be scared to go against the grain, make big changes in the world, and keep rocking your journey as a rebel CEO. I will catch you in the next episode.